All fog lights on your Acura RSX. As you can see, I've done it before, but this bumper is completely fucked. That'll focus. This bumper's completely messed up, and this is a new bumper. So you have to do what you gotta do. I like this hook blade the most, but if you can't get your hands on, do whatever you can to cut this piece off right here. I already went ahead and did that. You just cut around it all the way around perfectly, as if you were just, it's pretty much outlined already, so you just cut that out. The next step will be to cut across, like kind of straightish here, and you want to leave about an inch. Since this one's already cut, I'm going to show you about how much you want it. This one actually lines up perfectly with a Mugen lip, which is interesting because I did have to cut this down, and it lines up almost perfectly with the Mugen lip. And this goes about an inch thumb. This is about a half an inch, quarter thumb, that you want to cut off. Curve it around. Doesn't matter if you go over or under, it's just so that everything fits. Over here, you don't need to cut more. You just cut perfectly around it, leave that as is. Because if you cut more, there's two little brackets that the fog light comes onto. These ones that holds onto it. So if you cut more on this side, you'll be screwed because the fog light will just fly out. So these are my old fog lights. They're also pretty broken up, so I'm probably gonna order new ones. They're inexpensive. So yeah. Let's continue to this part of it. Alright, so, you know when I said to measure it, sorry about the camera angle, measure it out, it should be about an inch. That's about an inch, so an inch from here to there is how you want to leave it. Up here is also about an inch, and then the distance from that to that is about 2 inches, actually 2 inches perfectly, and then that's when you curve it. 2 inches, and then from the top of the bumper to this part is about 3/4 of an inch. So where you want to curve it, 3/4 of an inch, and the top, it's almost nothing. This part doesn't really matter because the fog light does cover the circle part. So if you go over or under here, doesn't really matter as long as the fog light sits in here. Over here, do not cut any more than you need to. Cut around perfectly. It's traced out. Cut it out first, right here. And then what you want to do is you want to mark those same measurements over here. So we're gonna do this backwards. Sorry, recording one hand thing other. So we're gonna leave about an inch. This is bad. Okay. How am I gonna go about doing this? Put a mark right here at 1 inch. I'm gonna do that off camera, obviously, for obvious reasons, one hand. Another inch about right here. And a half an inch of space from the top to the bottom, right about here, where this line is. I don't know if you can see this little invisible line where it curves. Right about there is where you want it. Right about there is where you want it to curve. And it'll just line up with the other one. So you just want to curve it right here. I'll make the lines up and a little bit more so that you guys can understand. So you want to cut 2 inches from the top, curve it down, 3.5 inches down, 2.5 inches across right here. Leave 1 inch of space from the bottom, so you actually have to start from the bottom up. So 1 inch down here, right, starting right here on this line. And the line I'm talking about, the invisible little curved line, that's where the line you can work off of. 2.5 inches across, 3.5 inches up, 2 inches from here to here, so you can curve that however you want. Doesn't really matter as long as your little bracket right here clears. You might have to cut more or less, doesn't matter as long as this bracket clears. Definitely gonna get new ones after seeing this, but as long as this bracket clears right here, you're fine, because the rest of it is covered up by this plastic right here that goes over it, so you won't see anything of right here anyway. But leave some of it anyway, don't cut it all off, because then you lose the rigidity of your bumper. This is a pretty hard piece, corner right here. So yeah, cut that. Can't really show you me cutting it, but I mean, you get the gist of it. Recording with one hand, trying to do this with another. So I'm gonna cut this and I will get back to you guys. This is the final cut. Inch from the top right here, inch from the bottom here. Go up about 3.5 inches, curve it, line it up to that side, and you should have yourself a fitting fog light. So that fits onto this, which is a lot more difficult than you'd think. So you want to put the holes wherever the holes line up. The holes should be, perfectly fine. They usually come with these little washer nut, whatever. Comes with screws also. So this washer typically should just go right in, right? But it doesn't go right in, so we're gonna have to actually take this back off and cut right there, because the kit that I got, the little washer's a little too big, so it's never gonna fit in here. It's too big, won't fit, won't go all the way through, so we're gonna cut up a little bit, make the line a little bit longer, but this washer will fit. Same as that side, this one's way smaller than the other one, so we're gonna do the same thing, cut it up a little bit, put that on, test fit it again, and cut the hole. So I will get to doing that. But yeah, mock up, put it back up on here. If you need to cut more, which I did need to cut more. I cut before the line, and then I cut really up close to the line. So like I said, more or less depending on what your specific fog light is, because Chinese internet parts, they are all different. So this will most likely be the same, this part and this side, depending on how big this side is about where you wanna go. Because if that's too big or that's too small, you're gonna have to cut more or less there. But that's just a general idea. So you can always cut more. Don't cut too much, don't cut too less. It does cover up all the way around, so try not to cut too high up. That just, as long as you curve it here about an inch right there, keep about a 1/2 inch maximum, because you do want to lip about around here so that it does hold in place right around here. So that's all it needs to hold on. So yeah, I will mock this up, cut a little piece out, and then should go right on. This is a few days later. I had already put the lip on, and because I put the lip on, this side lined up perfectly fine, but this side, as you can see, has double holes. If that'll focus. Yeah. 2 holes there, 1 hole here, 1 hole there, because I believe that's what counts. Got to count. Lip at it, a little bit more space, as you can see. Covers it up fine. Everything lines up. Gotta redo the holes and cut. And cut right there. So I cut the hole right here, drill the hole there. If you really want to drill the hole wherever this lines up, and this and that lines up, you put this washer wherever that fits. You really want to put this where this fits, not that where that fits. Because that would be impossible. You're trying to grab it down here. But again, I have space for the lip, so maybe it will fit right there and you'll be alright. But again, like I said, my washer's getting fit, so I had to make the hole a little bit bigger. But you see right around here, if this will focus, there's like little outlines already there, little indents right here where this washer needs to go, but you know, it's different fog lights, different whatever. You just line it up to where you want. Most of them should fit in like the factory location, but again, it's not it's a factory option, but you have to modify it. And because you have to modify it, it'll end up, well, this side's fine. If that'll focus, this side's fine. Again, this is all going to be painted. The car was hit, so fuck. It's fucked, and my car's pretty low, so, and it's also messed up in the bottom. I'm gonna raise the car a little bit so that doesn't happen anymore, but need to fix that side, double holes, cut it out a little bit more, and we should be set. Thing I forgot to mention was clearance right here in the back. As you can see, that space has a little bit too much space. That's fine because it covers it from above, but right here it's a little tight. So right here I'm going to cut a little bit farther out just so that this clears. And it all depends on what kind of fog light you have. Mine has these two brackets that hold on from this side, and these that would hold on from this side. Well, they should all hold on from this side. And right here should be similar, but this right here will all be different depending on how this fog light is held in place. So right here I'm going to cut more because it's a very tight fit and it's kind of pushing itself back out and not wanting to go all the way in. So I'm going to cut there. This one fits perfect. A little bit better clearance, like a little centimeter. Not even a centimeter, like a millimeter of clearance. That's good enough. You want it to be tight, but not too tight to the point where it wants to like push itself back out, because then that'll suck a lot. So that is about how much space you want from the top. That's about how much space you want in the bottom. And this is what you need to cut. So you need to cut on the side. You need to cut in. So the farther it goes in, the more it lines up, and you only have to cut wherever it lines up to the fog light. Right here, it's lined up to my fog light, but yours could be right here where the factory side is, so you probably won't have to cut. Your wing nuts that come with the kit might fit straight on. Doesn't matter. It all depends. It all depends on your fog light, where you bought it from, what you did, because they will not all be the same, but they will be similar. That's the key point. I don't know if I'll get into wiring the kit in because it's already wired and I don't really want to unwire it, but I might show you how to. It's pretty simple. The kit comes with everything you need. Basically, you will need a power source, which is your battery. Hook it up straight to the battery, and it has its own button. So the button is what will keep it from draining your battery, and it also has its own relay and fuse, so you don't need anything else. You don't need to tap into anything, and you should be fine. But actually, I'm lying. I hooked up mine to the wiper blades. There's a wire that hooks up to the wiper blade so that it doesn't drain your battery. So it has its own relay, but it still needs a power source from the car. Some of them say, oh, there's a fog light one. Mine didn't work. I tried it on my friend's car, which is the same RSX. Also, that wire did not work from the OEM fogs. I don't know if you have to do something extra for it, but it didn't work, so I tapped it into the wiper blades on my car. It worked fine, never shot my wiper blades, nothing, so it's fine. And if the fog lights don't work and my wiper blades don't work, I know it's that fuse. So that's about all I'm going to say on that. Maybe I'll show you more a little bit later, but the point of this is the fog light installation on the bumper. If you guys want to know how to install the entire kit, I can probably do that because my friend does want some fog lights. It's not the same car, but the wiring is the same, so that won't matter. The wiring, you just have to hook it up to a battery source, drag it into the car, put the button on, and you're good to go. In conclusion, this is the final setup for the bumper. Lip is on, fogs are on, license plate cover is on. Yes, I'm going to use that because Washington State's a bitch about the front plates. And I'm going to go over here, show you all the bolts are on. Of course, it still needs to be painted, but I just wanted to mock it all up, put it on, whatever, so that you can see that, you know, there's no gaps. That fits on right there. Gonna go to the back. How much cutting you had to do. So right here I did the adjustment. Right there I just cut around again. Cut here. That was actually a lot deeper than I would have liked. It kind of looks ugly. Worst case scenario, honestly, you can get these but longer, and it's what I saw when I was putting on my license plate, that they make them very long right there. So if you can get those but longer, you know, you don't even have to use the ones that are in the kit as long as it holds on. So, you know, that was my bad for not looking into some new ones instead of using the ones that came with the kit, because, you know, I like to do more work than I needed to. Apparently. The other side is done as well. Bolts are in. It's not going anywhere. Have the lip put on. So yeah, that concludes the video. All the cutting needed right there. Just need to cut more or less depending on your specific fog light. These are just some Amazon fogs, you know, nothing fancy. I think they were 40 bucks. I have tape around there because water gets in. Those are my HID fogs that I have set up. So yeah, since they were cheap, water gets in, so I put tape. Water doesn't get in, so I'm fine with it, whatever. Yeah, so that is it for the video. If you liked the video, please give a like, a follow. It really helps me out. I know I'm just starting with the videos, but the more support I get, the more videos I will want to do. I will still put out videos. I'm not gonna say often, but more often than last year for sure. Last year I probably had like 5 videos total. This year, I mean, it's almost the end of the year. So yeah, I guess it's for next year. Yeah. Fogs. License plate. Everything's on the car. I just need to, on the bumper. I just need to paint the bumper, so I'm gonna take it all off again. But it's nice to know that everything fits before I paint it and then have to redo it again just because of that. So that's done. Out of my way, out of my mind. And I will see you guys on the next video.